Hi, it's Matt here from Go Green Auto. So here we have a Toyota Proace Electric van. The same van is also a Vauxhall Vivaro, a Peugeot Expert and a Citroen Dispatch. So in this video I'm going to talk about the preconditioning on these and in this case on this UK spec Toyota Proace. So if you're not sure, let me explain what preconditioning is. It is a function that you have on many electric vehicles where you can precondition the cabin. So in the winter you can set a time and it will warm up the cabin, melt the ice off the windows if it's particularly cold, and precondition that cabin for the time that you want to leave. And it will do the same in the summer, but rather than heating, it will cool down the cabin with the air conditioning. So it preconditions the cabin and gets you ready for the time you want to leave to go to work or do your commute or whatever. And the advantage of that is that all that hard work to cool the van or to heat the van in the winter is done while the vehicle is plugged into your home and into your wall charger. So when you disconnect and leave in the morning, you've still got 100% battery and 100% range, and you're not wasting a lot of energy just to then heat or cool the vehicle while you're driving. So it gives you maximum range, and it's a really good system, and particularly in the winter when you can get into a vehicle that's already warm and the ice is melted, it's just fantastic. And it's particularly useful on electric vehicles with small batteries where winter efficiency and driving range is quite an important factor. So now to these vans, in this case this UK spec Toyota Proace. So with these there are no options. You've got your two battery sizes, one body size, the medium wheelbase, and very little options in terms of kit or luxuries inside the vehicle. And they all come with this standard 7-inch touchscreen head unit, well, in the UK, but the manual refers to all sorts of other models of vehicles. This is the manual just for the Proace that we don't get in the UK. So a lot of times this is referring to equipment that just isn't even an option on these vans, and the manual does refer to air conditioning preconditioning. And it does also refer to the My Toyota app and says that it's coming soon and you'll be able to control the preconditioning via the app. So just to save people the hassle of trying to work out how to make this work, I'm just going to explain in this video that it just doesn't work and will never work in these UK spec vans with this size head unit. And that message is actually in the manual on page 96. Just a small statement there that if you've got the Bluetooth audio system, preconditioned is not available. What you need is the touch or the Pro Touch navigation system, and that's something we don't get in the UK and can't even upgrade that as an option. And the manual and their website actually and the sales brochure refers to the My Toyota app, which I have downloaded and had a look at that as well, just to make sure. But none of that functionality is in the app. Of course, it's also not going to work because it relies on the programming and scheduling to be in the head unit, which this head unit isn't compatible. So on these vans in the UK, we're not going to get it. So the reality is it's not a big issue. You're probably coming from a petrol or diesel vehicle anyway and haven't had this preconditioned function anyway, so you're not going to miss something you haven't had. And the heaters in electric vehicles are very fast and heat the vehicles very quick because effectively it's a fan heater. You're not waiting for an engine to warm up water to get heat, and on modern engines they run quite cool, so they take maybe 5 miles of driving before you get any decent heat out your heater. With an electric vehicle, if you put the heat on, you get heating within seconds. Within sort of 5 seconds that air is hot, and within 10 seconds it is really hot. So in the winter, if you get an electric vehicle and it doesn't have preconditioning and you've got to melt the ice off the windows and get the cabin warm, it does it in a fraction of the time it would have done it on your previous ICE vehicle. However, you are then using power from your traction battery, because on electric vehicles the heater, because it requires so much power, the heater and the air conditioning system does use the power from the traction battery underneath, whereas the fan itself is using the 12-volt battery. So just using fresh air and using a fan doesn't reduce your range because it's not drawing power from the traction battery. But when you use air conditioning, and particularly the heating, that uses an awful lot of energy. That does draw power from the big battery, and the result of that is you will see loss of range because your vehicle's then that little bit more less efficient. While I'm here, I'll just show you on these Toyota and the Stellantis versions of these vehicles, you do have a needle up here which shows you the energy use of this heating and air conditioning unit, but only the energy use when it's drawing from your main traction battery. To be honest, it doesn't tell you too much, because ultimately you're going to want air conditioning or you're going to want heat anyway, so regardless of what it's drawing, you're not really going to change your pattern of using this. But let me just show you how it works. So I need to put it on anyway because we've got 31 degrees here and I'm absolutely sweating here. So let me just turn the air conditioning off. So if I just put the fan on here and put it on number 3, I've now got semi-cool air coming from outside, and we can see here the needle hasn't moved. We're not using any power from the main traction battery to run that 12-volt to run that fan, because that's just using the 12-volt battery. And I've got the heating down to minimum here, and all that's doing is just blowing fresh air from the outside into the cabin, and we're going to see no loss of range by using that at all. So if I push the air conditioning button, that now brings on the air conditioning, and you'll see that needle has gone up and it's showing us we're using more power from the traction battery. And at this stage I can't adjust that anymore. It's either air conditioning on or air conditioning off. Obviously I'm going to want the heating down, and I can change the speed of the fan, but it's not going to use any more power from the traction battery, because we are this is only using the fan, and the compressor is on, so it's using a fixed amount. So I've turned that back off now, and even though the button is lit, that is actually off because the fan is off. The only way you can reduce your consumption here of the air conditioning is to put the van in eco driving mode. So if I push the button there and put it into eco mode, you'll see there that the electricity consumption of the air conditioning unit is dropped right down to nothing, but I'm still getting cold air out. So if you drive in eco mode, you can have the air conditioning on and it uses very little power, and to be honest, I haven't noticed that get any warmer at all. That is still cold air, but then it is 31 degrees and any air that's cold is going to feel nice. But in my limited use of this van so far, I haven't found the heating to be the air conditioning to be any colder when I'm in eco mode versus normal mode. So anyway, that's how you use the heater and read the dial on these vans. As these don't have preconditioning, you're obviously going to need to heat the van or cool the van when you initially get in it. So yes, if you want to minimize your power consumption to maximize your range, put it in eco mode, and just be very careful with adjusting that temperature, and just watch that dial there. On these vans, the estimated range on the guessometer there doesn't adjust instantly like it will do on others, but they're all just a guess, they're not particularly accurate, and that's why they give you this dial, the sort of Stellantis or previously PSA version. So just to end this one, even though these don't have preconditioning, they give you this dial here so you can sort of estimate your power consumption by using that heating or air conditioning. On these, the guessometer doesn't instantly drop like it will do on other vehicles, so it is a bit of a guess, and you've just got this gauge to give you some indication of how much power you're drawing. So if you want to, you can put it in eco mode and sort of knock the temperature down a little bit to reduce your energy consumption, which is going to maximize your range. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you found this useful, please do click that thumbs up button on YouTube. Do subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you on the next video.